Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Live from Brewers Cafe, 1125 Bainbridge Avenue, Richmond, Virginia, giving you the best micro brews, the best gourmet coffee, the best sandwiches, anything you need, anything you want. This is the place to do it. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. We appreciate everybody that's in the room. Thank y'all, everybody, for being here. Thank you to those folks that's checking us out right now on the live stream on Facebook Live, as well as those folks that's kicking it with us right now on TuneIn, Streamer, our Legacy Internet Radio website. However it is you're getting us, if you're listening to the replays on YouTube and iTunes, we appreciate. There's some feedback we're getting from some folks. Let me get some of these comments in. Let's see. Our sister SY is checking us out. She's saying peace to us. Mr. LP, Steven Sykes, who hosts our...
Hey, Steve.
Yes, sir. He hosts our Tuesday night show on Live and Radio. He's checking in with us. We got our brother Aaron Turner, the Aaron Turner Show, formerly of Legacy on that radio. He's checking us out. Let's see. He's giving you some love, Lissa P. He's shouting you out specifically.
You down here, brother.
And he's shouting 1125 Bainbridge Avenue. There you go.
Right.
He's shouting you out specifically. He's shouting out Big Rude. And me too. He said, what's up, my brother? Our sister Shayna Latia, our clairvoyant medium, is checking in as well. So shout out to all of those folks. This next segment is a segment that I've been kind of wanting to do for a while, but I wanted to make sure that when I did this segment that I had someone that I really cared about their opinions, cared about how we would be able to have an honest and fair conversation. And I've been very clear about one thing that we do here on Legacy Internet Radio, not just on this show, but across all the others. We don't half step. We have the honest conversation about all kinds of things. We have the honest conversation about race. We have the honest conversation about sexuality. We have the honest conversation about politics. And so I want to have the honest conversation about how Muslim Americans are treated here in the United States. And quite frankly, I'm not happy with it. And so I wanted to have a conversation with someone who is a part of that community to give an honest and fair representation for what it feels like for them, or for him, I should say, because I don't know that any of us could speak for a group. We can only speak for ourselves. But Big T, I'm going to bring you back to the mic, and if you can do me just a solid and tilt it up just a little bit and then bring it in just a little bit closer to you. There you go, brother. I'm going to bring you back in and kind of set it up. Why don't you tell the folks here in the live studio audience, I always wanted to say that, the studio audience, why don't you tell the folks a little bit about your background so that we can kind of have an idea when we get a little bit further?
Definitely. Well, for starters, they call me Big T. That's how I roll.
Yes,
that's my intro to everyone. And there's a specific reason why. A lot of people can't pronounce my name, which is Temur, which I'm cool with, And the thing is that however way you call me, whether you call me Big T, whether you call me Temur, whatever, as long as you call me with love, that's all that matters to me. And ethnically, I was born and raised in America, Northern Virginia, but my parents, they're half Pakistani and half Kashmiri. So I have the roots of back home, but with the same culture of growing up as an American, any ordinary American child. But so the topic we're speaking about is also how Muslims deal with ordinary day scenarios where there might be discrimination, unfortunately. But so it's honestly an honor to be here on Legacy Internet Radio. A pleasure. Thank you so much, Marcus, for having me over.
Absolutely. I appreciate you. I appreciate you being here. I'm going to start it off by literally stepping in it and talking about the elephant in the room. We can go back to 2002. And most of us in the room, I knew a lot of y'all in the room. I see my sister Sue back there, Big Bro Joe. We were rocking back then. So y'all remember, because I remember being around y'all back in them days when people was getting shot all through this area. Richmond, Virginia, Ashland, Northern Virginia, D.C. area. I think y'all know where I'm going. I remember getting in the car, pumping gas with the seat all the way back because I didn't want to get sniped. Right?
Yeah.
And I know we all assumed this was some crazy ass white dude. Right?
Yep.
That's what we all assumed. Right?
Yes.
And then when we seen on TV, it was two brothers, two black dudes. It absolutely blew our minds. Now, for me, this was one of the first times I said, watching TV, oh, Lord, I hope it's not a black dude. Like, that's what we do now.
Yeah.
When we see stuff on television. At least black folk, that's what we do. I think we all do it because I see y'all nodding like, yeah, I do that. We all do that.
Definitely.
Is that something that when, as a Muslim American, when you watch the news and you see stuff happen and you hear the terrorist word thrown, do you say to yourself, man, I hope it's not a Muslim person? I mean, I don't know. Do you do that?
Honestly speaking, as personally speaking, you already mentioned earlier that I can't speak for the collective group. But when something like that happens, I tell myself, man, this guy actually didn't follow his religion. The main thing is, if you're a Muslim, you're supposed to be there for everyone. It doesn't matter whether they're Muslim, whether they're non-Muslim, Christian, Jewish, whether they're straight or gay. If they're a human being, you have to be there and protect them. That's your job. That's your duty as a Muslim, to be there for other people. Now, there are plenty of misunderstandings and whatnot on the religion, taking context out of the Quran and just reading it without actually knowing the background history to it. So when I listen to the news and you see it oh so often, 9/11 was probably one of the biggest boomers of where Muslims became so widespread on the news that, oh, terrorists. Every time it was a Muslim, it would be terrorist. But if it was someone else, they'd be mentally ill, or every group has their own word, you know. And it's so unfortunate how people are stereotyped. Whether it's my brothers and sisters who get shot every day, they call them thugs, and they aren't thugs. They're not thugs. The same way, what we really have to do is look at everyone individually and be like, how is this person? How did he grow up? He's an American. He was born in the States, on the soil. Spent his whole life trying to make this soil enriched with fruit, with trees. And then you're going to chop that brother up and tell him that he's a terrorist? Nah. So that's, when I see someone doing that, hurting their own country, hurting America, and they are American, born and raised here, that hurts me more. Because you cannot talk smack about the same place that raises you. That's something my dad taught me.
You know, you mentioned a minute ago about, excuse me a second, you getting live production here, y'all.
Yeah.
Facebook Live. All right. You mentioned the code words. You know, when you think of Muslims, you know, you hear the word terrorist. When you think of black dudes, black men, you hear the word thugs. You know, there's certain code words, and I'm just glad to hear someone, you know, other than me and other black men, or black people, I should say, speak to that, because in the media, there's certain ways that you can know what you're dealing with just by the way they're expressed or explained. So I'm glad you mentioned that. 804-402-2893. You're listening to Ain't No Half Step One Marcus J, live from Brewers Cafe, 1125 Bainbridge Avenue, right here in Richmond, Virginia. You mentioned 9/11 and how that kind of changed how we thought, the collective American thought of Muslims in America. I'll be honest with you, me, I don't think that I even really thought about it. I never really thought about Muslims and Christians and Jewish people in any way other than just an individual person that I would meet. I never thought about Christians are only this way. I mean, if you really want to go there, Christians made up a big, foundation of the Ku Klux Klan. I don't think that anybody considers all Christians to be a certain kind of way. When you have conversations with other Muslims, do you find that this is something that you guys talk about? Because we as black folk, we talk about how we feel we're treated amongst each other, amongst ourselves all the time. Is that something that is prevalent in your community?
Well, the thing is that usually when someone does speak, this is my own habit. What I try doing is, how can I change myself? Because there are plenty of ignorant people in this world, and I don't have the energy to talk to every single one of them and tell them that, hey, sir, hey, ma'am, you are wrong. So we do address these issues that people like this, they're approaching us this way, or something awkward happened today. I was at the grocery store and someone was avoiding me. So we see these things, we notice these things. But the main thing for me is, how do we move forward from these things? Because I honestly, as I mentioned a bit earlier, I wasn't born to straighten people up.
Right.
That's not my job.
Right.
My job is to straighten myself out.
Right. Have you personally experienced any I don't know if discrimination, or have you ever felt that you have been discriminated against because of your physical appearance? Because when you look at me, when you look at a lot of the folks in the room, you see an obvious black person. That's something that you cannot hide from. And when I look at you, you look like someone, to me, of Middle Eastern descent. And when an American, the average American, I can't speak for everybody, but when the average American sees someone from the Middle East, the thought is that's a Muslim person. Yeah. So have you felt personally any discrimination strictly because of how you look?
The thing is, I have a beard, and I like growing it out. And it's actually pretty recent that I was telling my mom, talking to her, and she goes, you should start trimming your beard a little bit. When Chapel Hill happened, she, my relatives, my family, everyone was worried. I live away from home. So they were like, you know what, you should just trim it so it's like just barely noticeable, you know what I mean? And the thing is that I've actually, life itself used to be, when I was a child, be myself. But the more I grew up, it became prove other people that you're American and prove other people that you're Muslim. And to me, I'm a huge background. I'm American. I'm proud to be American. I'm proud to be Pakistani. And I'm proud to be Kashmiri. And all these three identities, and also being Muslim, all these identities, they are something I'm prideful for. I never have any shame. If someone thinks I'm odd, if anyone thinks I'm strange, honestly, I am. And that's what defines me. You guys spend 5 minutes with me and you'll see how crazy I am. Yeah. So it's perfectly okay to be different. And everyone, I advise this to everyone in this, who's listening in this room, and anyone I meet in the world, is that you are different. That's what makes you so special. And as a Muslim, I sometimes feel like I have to prove myself to be a Muslim, as I mentioned, where many of my Christian brothers, nobody speaks against, this person did this, Crusaders did this, that person did this, and shooting happened in a theater. No, this person was all right. No, he's not. Donald Trump's not this person. He says, I'm following this religion and following this certain group, and they're like, no. You know what I mean? So the thing is that, and I'm blaming Muslims as well. What we try doing is we point at someone else and say, no, this didn't happen from us, we already kicked him out of our group, So
that's how my goes. Right. I knew I like T. I knew I like T.
Hey, Big T. That's
Just
what.
stay
Hey, my
tuned in.
fam.
I'm gonna talk in opposition to that guy soon enough.
Yeah, no doubt.
We'll see how close we are.
See, now that is what we call a tease. That's what we call a tease right there. Good job, Big T. Good, yeah, exactly.
Big tease,
Good job. Man, you don't have Steppin, Marcus J. Live from Brewers Cafe, 1125 Bainbridge Avenue right here in the capital city, RVA, Richmond, Virginia. We appreciate y'all rocking with us. 804-402-2893. The floor is open. Big T and I are having a great conversation, but anybody in the room that wants to get in and wants to ask a question or just wants to make a comment, feel free. If you would, just do me a favor. It's just kind of wave at me when you have a mic in your hand and just introduce yourself to the listeners, just so we know who you are. Sister with the pink mic, what's your name?
I'm Jerlisa McElroy.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Thank you for being here. What's your comment?
Actually, with all of the bombing that has been happening over the weekend in New York, I have a member of the Muslim community who is my coworker. And this morning we were just talking. His mother's Pakistani, but he's been here his entire life. And he blatantly told us this morning that when he sees something like that happen on the TV, he says, God, I hope it's not a Muslim person. God, I hope they're not Muslim. Or, not Muslim, but Middle Eastern. Not even of the religion, just the culture. So I think that we put people who may or may not be in a certain religion into one box, but we don't take accountability out for just the person. We take it out for the community.
Right.
And I just think that's crazy.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Hey, that's a real good statement that you made. But I'm curious because, I know that we're specifically today speaking of being Muslim American.
Yeah.
But, everything that you stated right now, I go through that every day. Honestly, being 6'4", being 290, having a beard, being bald head.
I would walk on the other side of the sidewalk if I saw you.
Yeah, she gets on the other side of the sidewalk from me. She clutches her purse tight. So, I relate very much so to what you're saying. So even just being here, yeah, we sit there and talked about that. I was working back at the time for the Fed when all of this when we talked about Malvo and the guys who actually did the shooting up and down 95. I didn't duck. I didn't duck because I believe in my guns and I carry mine with me. If you shoot at me, I shoot back. Not saying that that's always the right thing to do.
Wait a minute.
Tease.
Virgil,
Tease.
let me ask you a question. So you said around about the sniper time,
Right.
you were out and about. You weren't ducking and dodging?
I'm too big to get low and behind
Brother,
the car.
let me tell you,
Facebook Live.
I was going in and out like I was playing a new style of,
Pac-Man?
hopscotch. Yeah, I'm telling you, I
Hubert?
was like, we would dash out of whatever store we was in and just like zigzag all the way to the car.
So I just had to ask, we got the room sitting here, and did anybody else feel nervous about that? Were you all ducking and dodging? Just because of the simple fact, were you ducking and dodging, sis?
I was. This is blessed. I was running from everywhere. I'm not a runner at all, but everywhere from my car to Food Line, back to the car.
Yes, ma'am. I
was
was a
running.
track
Food
star.
Line, quit
Yes, I was a track star that year.
It's just one of those things that I totally understand, and I've been in the United States all my given life. But being in the military, I traveled to the Middle East. I was a soldier. Did it, done it. Did some things that I wasn't particularly proud of in the name of our government. Ooh, we're going to get on that one later on. But, it's just funny to me how we put everybody, as you stated, Big T, in a box.
Yeah.
And if we don't open up that box and get some healing going on, we done.
Okay, but Big T, let me ask you as well. Do you actually think it's possible, not everyone, but to get the majority of what we have on the same page, on the same level? And, I actually had to fight with this when I felt like, at a certain time when I felt like that all of the black people in the community were getting killed by the police. I'm like, does hate really take over love? I really had to think about that because, like I said, it could be 30 of us in a circle praying for each other and just hugging on each other, and it could be one person that just comes and take all of us out just because. So, I mean, do you really think...
She has a motherly instinct that's always worried about me. And something I pick up from my dad is that, honestly, I'm not afraid of anyone. I'm not afraid if you're bigger than me, stronger than me. And I see you standing over there.
Remind me of me, bro.
But the thing is that life is right now. Death, it's going to come no matter what. We can't stop it. We can't choose it. And I often talk about that a lot because it humilifies me. It tells me that I'm no one. That, death is going to get me sooner or later, So all I can do is actually preach for peace. Be a better person. I can't convince everyone, And, yeah.
And preaching for peace, does that mean you don't defend? And preaching for peace, does that mean you don't defend you?
When the thing is, you have to defend yourself. If you get punched in the face, you
what about turn the other cheek?
Well, you can do that.
I ain't doing that.
You can do that with Gandhi. You can turn the cheek. You could fight back, but never attack first. In my religion, it's you can't attack first. Any war, you can only defend. And that's what you see wrong with a lot of people. These terrorist groups and whatnot, they're attacking innocent people. And, yeah.
And Big T, I can relate because my mama used to tell me, let them hit you first, and then that's when you go off.
Yeah, but you might get knocked out getting hit first.
You need to do something to get yourself right back up real quick and then pass back out. Let them know that you was there.
I get it.
Fall hard, but not fall.
I understand it, but you know what? Protection is a mindset.
But look at the protection we're speaking of. Again, like we all know, back in the day when you fought, it was a fist fight. Well, nobody walking with a gun or nothing like that. But now that's the first thing they pull for. And hopefully later on we'll be talking about this issue as well.
Yeah.
But again, I'm saying, so bringing it back to Big Bro saying he has to defend himself, and then we're calling for peace. So again, how does all that come together?
So, okay, here's the thing. I am skinny as hell, all right? I am 6'3", all right? I'm skinny. I'm 6'3". I'm tall, lanky, you know what I mean? But I am never afraid of defending myself because I don't want to give someone else a chance to do that. And there are plenty of people, as we mentioned, there are racist people. I was in Ladysmith, if that's the place off 95, filling gas at 2 a.m., heading home, and guy's in front of me in the gas line, and he goes, he's talking to the cashier, he goes, who are you voting for? And the guy's looks at me, and he says, Donald Trump. And he shows me his gun. And I'm like, all right, let me speak to the cashier next. And he asked me, who are you voting for? I was like, well, you need half of a brain to know that not to vote for Donald Trump. And some people, they don't even have that, even if they have a gun to show that they have some sort of power. I'm like, there's no power in that. The guy left. He was embarrassed. I was like, I don't care.
Well, that I can appreciate. See, that's one of those ways that you sit there and said you talk yourself down, you get yourself out of a situation. But you know what? All the time we can't do that. But I mean, that was an intelligent thing to do. Me, I probably wouldn't tell him, get the hell out. Really, yeah, that's just, but
Yeah. Yes, the thing is, I am a man of peace, and I used to be pretty rowdy back in the day.
No.
What?
Get out of here.
I spent 5 years in Islamabad in a private school taking care of my grandmother. So a family left and took care of my grandmother. And I spent time over there, and like private school kids, they're like rich snobby kids, you know, you got to defend yourself. So I had my days, but then honestly I realized that like if I can't solve something with my mouth, you know, with my words, then I am weak. If I have to resort to like something that I can't solve with my mouth, then I feel really weak.
Well, Big T, do you cuss? Do you cuss with your words to get your point across? I cuss.
I am half Punjabi, and that's like having a sailor's mouth.
Does that mean you cuss? Okay, well, thank you. Because I'm going to go look that up in the bathroom when I go, so thank you. Okay.
Ain't no hashtag on Marcus J. Live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. Let's get a couple of comments from our brothers and sisters in Facebook Live. Shout out to our sister Michelle K.
Hey, Michelle.
She's checking us out. Shout out to my brother Damon in Queens. New
What
York
up,
is
Damon?
checking us out. What up, PB? Shout out to our sister Tony, who joins us here usually on the second
Tony
Monday
boo.
of the month. Tony says that her mother always taught her to be aware of her surroundings, but you cannot let fear paralyze you. While I'm conscious of the constant possibility of my life ending, whether naturally or accidentally, I will not let evil and violence dictate how I live. And our sister SY is co-signing that one. So that's a real dope comment. Our sister Katrina is also checking us out. Ain't no how stepping with Marcus J. If you're listening to us and you want to be a part of tonight's discussion, give us a call at 804-402-2893. That's the number to dial to be a part of tonight's discussion. Big T, I want to ask you a question, and this question basically is coming from, like, I know the answer to the question, but this is really for the folks that are listening. Yeah. You have a very, very strong part of the American population that think that Islam is an evil religion.
Yeah.
I've done some numbers. I don't have them in front of me.
Definitely.
But I've seen estimates that extreme terroristic Islamic people represent less than half of 1% of. Yeah. So I'm assuming you're familiar with the numbers. So tell listeners about Islam. What is Islam? Why is it a dope ass religion? Why is it, by numbers, it's the largest religion in the world from what I understand?
Definitely.
And so why don't you tell listeners why it's so dope?
All right. First off, there are two things I want to say. First off, to anyone listening who doesn't know about Islam and has a negative view about it, I invite you to have dinner with me. Have lunch with me. Have a conversation with me.
Big T is lunch on you.
I don't know about lunch on me, but we're having lunch together.
Oh, okay. Well, I will call you on the phone.
So if you actually want to see how Muslim is, you have to see me and talk to me with yourself. You can't just be believing someone else. That's the same thing with people who say that there's no God or this and that. They say, oh, how can you believe something that someone else has said? Well, you're doing the same thing. You know, you're blindly following what this media says, what someone else tells you, without even searching for an answer yourself. More than half of the people I've known who speak against Islam, they haven't even read the Quran. And they're giving me, oh, but doesn't it say this verse in your Quran? I'm like, did you read the verse before? And they're like, no. I'm like, did you read the verse after? And they're like, no, but like it says it here. It's not a storybook, you know. Don't treat it like a storybook that it's like from front to the end, like throughout. It's just gonna flow consistently. You have to actually be knowledgeable. You have to critically think. If you are Muslim, you have to critically think. Another thing is that, as we mentioned, 9/11. Why is it, if you have two cents of a mind, you know, why is it that after 9/11, the increase of Islam went skyrocket? If those people who took the name of Islam and used that to kill people, honestly, to me, they're not Muslims. Whether they believe it or not, to me, that's not an act of a Muslim. And to show that, I will do something opposite. I will do something good. I will help people out from wherever I can. If you look at these numbers, at the increase of people searching what Islam was right after 9/11, and how many people converted to Islam right after, you'd be surprised. So many people I met who converted after 9/11, whether they're white, whether they're black, whether they were from Latin America or somewhere else, a lot of these people were like, who are these people? Why are they attacking us? What is this Quran? What is this Islam? And when they actually search, when they actually read the Quran, they realize that there's something much more to it. And it's not actually about violence. It's not promoting violence. It's promoting peace.
Okay, well, Big T, I love your name. Hashtag. Okay. But no, seriously. Like saying Internet Radio, ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. The recent stabbing at the mall, was it in Minnesota?
Minnesota.
And I think he stabbed at least 9 people, and he asked them before he stabbed them, were they Muslim? So, of course, you say Muslims, just like all of us, anybody, it's not even a religion, we're all supposed to be in love. So, what do you feel that was about? What do you feel that certain attack was about, if he was trying to do it in the name of who you all are supposed to be praising? What was that about, you feel?
Well, my question to him is, are you Muslim? If you're asking other people and hurting them, my question to him is, are you actually Muslim? There have been cases in the past where I've seen people who have Muslim names, who have Muslim identities, but they do such terrible things that it makes me so shameful that they associate themselves with such a peaceful religion. And that is not peaceful. So anytime I see someone who tells himself that I'm a Muslim and he hurts someone else, my question is, are you actually Muslim? How are you going to how are you going to face God on Judgment Day and be like, oh, I hurt these people? And the thing is, man, like, everyone, it doesn't matter who you are, what you follow, everyone is a creation of God. If you believe in a God, then you believe that everyone is perfect. Physically, everyone is perfect. Everyone has their own challenges.
Right.
Everyone's going through stuff. But whether you're Muslim or not, this is to you. That if you believe in a God, you aren't supposed to hurt another creation of God. Because you are doing the opposite. You're supposed to preserve God's creations.
I agree. Sir, question? Comment?
Introduce your first.
Alan Chincius. There's an important issue which is really appropriate because of the way this broadcast is going out tonight. This is people-powered, independent, alternative media. And the reality is that a lot of what we're talking about comes from corporate media selling the American public, the world's public, the viewers, selling them a viewpoint that is filled with panic, terror, blood, guts. Nobody in the media immediately started saying, this white Christian boy blew away all those people in the church. And nobody is talking about, the craziness that goes on, labeling it with the other ethnic and religious labels except Islam. And why is that? Because the narrative since September 11th has sold viewership, headlines, buying their papers, buying their media. And the truth is that the reality that I experience every day is that the ordinary, everyday people who haven't been infected with that rabies-like plague that's been spread by the commercial corporate media, everyday people know the truth. They know the truth that when they're saying thugs, I mean, to call Colin, I can't ever say his last name, the football player, to call him a thug. The man is a highly educated, near genius, and he has started a movement that includes vets who say, I went to fight for his freedom to sit down, stand up, speak out. But the media No,
Right.
they're
Not
not.
let
You
you
look
know
in
that.
social media. You listen to legacy internet radio.
Yes.
You'll hear the truth about it. And in the streets and in our coffee shops and in our neighborhoods, we know the truth.
Yes, sir.
And we're not buying that stuff anymore.
Yes.
I believe that the goodness of everyday people shows up left, right, and center.
Yes.
What do you think? And I'm gonna keep you here for a minute. What do you think is the end game? Like, it's been, as I mentioned, since probably 9/11, 15 years or so, that the rabies-like plague has taken over American consciousness with regards to Muslims. And to be frank, it used to be just us black folk. Now we got some peers in this discrimination here, which I don't know that any of us want to be a part of that fraternity. But what's your thoughts on why it's Muslims now?
I think the end game and the explanation is one and the same always. It shifts from one focus to the next. There was and is big money in stoking this fear. The amount of money that our war criminal vice president made off of the fires in the Middle East is obscene and morally offensive. People seem to think that little George W. failed in his assignment. He didn't fail in his assignment.
Not at
He was
all.
an Armageddonist Christian whose job was not to bring peace to the world, whose job was not to protect us. His job was to prepare the field of fire for Jesus' return, and he did it perfectly.
Isn't that something?
And they made a lot of money, which is part of that Armageddonist end times. They're supposed to gather up the resources. That's not a crime. That's not a sin. They're supposed to gather it up and stoke us one against the other to bring everybody but them down, tumbling down. And I believe that too many people have been infected by that rabies kind of approach. But I also know in the work that I've done, in the communities that I see and travel in and connect with, the people in this room tonight are just one small grain of sand on my beach, and my beach is filled with truth
Yes.
and power that comes with truth.
Where is your beach, sir? Because I am on my way. Let me get my stuff together. Yes,
Come on,
Big
girl.
Daddy.
Let's go to the
That's what I'm calling. Yes, I'm on the beach.
Get on it.
Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio, live from not the Den. I'm so used to saying that.
It's the
mobile
mobile
den, yeah, live from Brewers Cafe, 1125 Bainbridge Avenue here in Richmond, Virginia. Brewers Cafe, 804-402-2893, brother.
Yeah, welcome, Big T.
Thank you.
It's kind of like an oxymoron because you are, slim but tall.
Yeah.
But my opinion on it is, kind of piggybacking on the media because I really, outside of Legacy Internet Radio, of course, but the media spins what's going to have people, listen and look, tune in, drive up ratings, more money for them. And then pretty much ever since 9/11, they've been focusing on Muslims, not just Muslim Americans, but Muslims in general.
Yeah.
And sitting where I've been for 30 plus years, I've taken the approach where it's kind of like, well, welcome to America, because this is how America does.
Yeah.
You get too many numbers, and now granted, 9/11 totally bad.
Definitely.
I mean, our people have done some bad things too, but at the same time, to keep persecuting you guys, and then I'm not gonna say some Muslims or Middle Eastern people are not helping the cause, just like us. Some things that we do don't help the cause at all. And good old Donald Trump, since y'all kind of got old for a while.
Yeah.
Now they bring in the Mexicans. Let's build a wall. Let you black people, Middle Eastern people. That's not enough.
Definitely.
Let's bring in the Latins because they call it stealing jobs. They're not stealing jobs. They doing jobs that some of us bougie black people don't want to do. Some bougie white people don't want to do.
Yes, like turn off,
Yeah.
playing the
Let them work.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to do it and get money, let them work.
That's how.
But now it's a problem because it's too many of them. You didn't build a wall back in 18 whatever. If you really wanted to build, if you really wanted to keep people out, just like other countries, you could have built the wall long time ago, long time ago. But now, since our Latin American friends now have become Americanized, they're having babies, they buying homes. It's not just the prototypical and I think condescending way where you say, well, it's like 20 of them in the house. It ain't that no more. I have some Latin Americans in my neighborhood, and trust me, my neighborhood is not the 20 people in an apartment. It might be more than 4 or 5 in there, but they doing good though. They doing good. But I think it's kind of like a welcome to America type of moment, and America it's a good place, but at the same time we have some bad roots.
Yeah, I definitely agree to that. I mean, when you just think about America, my first thought is we drove away Native Americans, people who are actually living here. So anything that I'm doing on this world, like I have to be honoring. If I ever meet Native Americans, I have to give them more respect, and they deserve a lot of respect. And besides that, as you mentioned, now they're pointing at Mexicans and whatnot. Honestly, what you said, I agree to it. There are plenty of Pakistanis there are plenty of people who can't do the same jobs that a lot of people a lot of Mexicans are willing to do. And they don't get paid as much as how we would be paid if we were doing the same jobs. So even they're like spend the whole day in the sun. I'm from Northern Virginia, and it's very heavily populated with Latin Americans, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, and plenty of the people that I speak to personally who work so hard, more than the kids who use their daddy's money and drive into someone and kill them and then get off bail for they don't want to ruin that kid's life.
Say that again.
We
Or rape.
Ooh.
Exactly. Or rape.
Ooh.
And we can't say that it's not true. If you look at the news, look at all the white heterosexual males who get off jail, who get off so much after they rape someone who's unconscious behind a dumpster, a woman, and they tell her, stop interfering. Your trauma, that's interfering with this man's future. He ruined her life. That trauma, that experience, that will never go away from her, probably not even her dreams. It'll haunt her forever.
Now, I'm sorry, is this the same judge that told her that she should have kept her knees closed together?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he got 6 months and only served 3 of the 6. So,
unlike Michael Vick, who got what?
2 years for dogs.
For fighting dogs.
That's still pretty much in jail with dogs.
Don't
He's
even
still
give
in
me,
jail. Peter got him.
don't even get me started on that one. Just giving some love. Shout out to my brother Ty Cool. Ty Cool is shouting us out. He's saying peace to us here on Legacy Internet Radio. My sister Nate, you got the mic. What's up, Nate?
Big T, quick question for you.
Yeah.
So we were, running down some things that have happened here in America, and you made mention to a rape situation. So do you have any knowledge, or can you shed any light on how that situation would have been handled in the Middle East? Are women valued there? Do women have a voice there? We know that certain things happen like it is here. Things are swept underneath the rug. But are men held to a higher regard than women? Can you shed some light on that for us?
All right. First off, I do want to make clear, Pakistan lies outside the Middle Eastern border. So it's not really in there, but a lot of people do consider it. And besides that, you have to look at the countries individually. You can't just compare all of the Middle East to all of America. They're governed by different people, and Pakistan has had female presidents. And where's America's female president? And obviously Hillary Clinton, look at her, oh my God. I'm like, oh God.
Maybe we should vote this year.
I didn't know Satan had kids in human form, you know.
Yeah.
So the thing is that
so Big T, you about to call
yes, sir. You see why I love this man?
So here's the thing, is that when we're talking about respecting women, I come from a Pakistani family.
Okay.
You know, I come from a Kashmiri family. You know, and one thing I was taught is to respect women more than anything. You know, in Islam, heaven lies under the feet of mothers. Ooh. You know, back in the day, if you look at that context of why that's so enormous, when girls used to be born, when people found out they had daughters, they would bury them alive, according to that time.
Oh, wow.
You know?
Okay.
And we can't be like, oh man, they were savages. They did that. They do that here every single day.
They do it in China.
You know, they do it openly. Mm-hmm. You know, they kill people and then they're off bail. Mm-hmm. So the thing is that we have to ask ourselves is when you look at that context where heaven lies at the feet of mothers, it raised the status of women from 6 feet under to a place that we can't even imagine for. If you don't take care of your mother, if you don't take care of your father, who is the key to heaven, you know, key to the gates of heaven, you will not go to heaven.
Okay.
You know, so the status of women as a Muslim, if I can't compare what happens to America, I hate comparing atrocities from one place to the other because there is no point to compare. Okay. You know, but as a Muslim, personally speaking, my parents have taught me because of my religion that respect women the most, because if you were born from a woman, then you better damn respect any woman that comes into your life.
Great quality.
Ain't nobody woman now. Wait a minute.
I can dig it.
Yes.
Now that's a dope comment, because a lot of times we pervert our messages based upon one or two negative stereotypes that we may see coming out of various cultures, like the phrase welfare queens being attached to black Americans, when we know that by number as well as by percentage, we're not the ones who are the vast majority of people who utilize those services. I'll just kind of say it like that. And so we know that if we want to bastardize a certain group, that's how we do it. And there's something that you learn in psychology. If you say something, I think the number is like 7 times. If you say it like 7 times, it becomes part of your routine.
I need to win the lottery. I need to win the lottery.
That's why on Monday morning. That's why on Monday morning.
Say you are winning it. You have to
repeat it. Winning the lottery.
Okay, there you go.
That's why on Monday morning, when you turn on the radio and you hear that song for the first time, and it's like, man, that shit is whack. And then Tuesday, pick your song.
Oh.
You know, Tuesday, you're like, man, it's whack, man. I don't really like this song. Wednesday, you kind of nod your head a little bit.
Yeah.
By the time Thursday comes, the chorus is already you rapping the chorus. You still don't like it. By the time the weekend hit, that's your joint.
But Marcus, you putting that in days. You know, with the rotation of music nowadays,
you might go through that whole cycle.
Song 4 times before noon.
You might go through that whole cycle in one day. Ain't that something? Ain't no how Steppin Marcus J. Live from the den. Legacy Internet Radio.
Live from Brewers Cafe.
I keep saying it, right?
Word.
Where we at, Lisa P? Where we at?
We have moved the den.
Yeah, the mobile den. Who said that? Big Bro Joe said the mobile den. I didn't see. I get caught up in the routine. There you go, the routine. I've been saying that for 5 years or however long we've been on the air. Live from Brewers Cafe, 1125 Bainbridge Avenue. We still here. We're going to be here for a little while. Come down, say peace to the Ain't No Half Step on Marcus J crew. But more importantly, come say peace to the Brewers Cafe crew. Get yourself a latte. Our brother AJ Brewer back there. Throw up the deuces, brother. He threw up the deuces and whatnot. He's in here working hard, and he's opened his doors to us here at Legacy and that radio. My apologies for saying live from the den a bunch of times. It's just a routine. It's just a habit. Let's get some love in from the folks that are listening. My brother VA Tech, of 101 The Fam
What up, Tay?
is listening to us tonight.
101 The Fam.
101 The Fam is giving us some love tonight. We appreciate that, brother, for checking us out. Big Bro Joe, you got some correspondence?
Yes, I got a few correspondents. I want to shout out my boy Jimmy. Jimmy, what's going on? Marcus J's favorite white guy.
He's up there.
He's up there.
He's up there.
Yo, Big Tony. We got a lot of people checking in from a lot of different places. Tony's up in Northern Virginia. Got Daniel. He's checking in. He's over in he's in Richmond somewhere. I don't know where he is.
Nova.
He one of them dudes. He kind of keep low and get
East
around.
side, west side, worldwide.
And then we got one of my partners from South Carolina who's actually in Arizona. He's checking in on us. Big Doug is checking in on us.
Big Doug.
He's checking in on us. This is a dope discussion, man.
Awesome discussion.
Marcus J is one of those guys. Really love having a Big T. Yeah, we know you're a little narrow, but we're gonna get on you a little bit. I'm gonna fatten you up.
Miss Tony actually said that, and I meant to get her comment in a little while ago. Big T, she said, "Don't worry about it. She's not a big person either, but the bigger they are, the harder they fall." I meant to get that comment in a while ago.
Right
yeah, that was for me.
They don't have Steppin with Marcus J live from the den of Brewers Cafe, the mobile den. The mobile den. Did I do it?
You did it.
I did it.
Yo, that was
live
7
from
times,
the
though.
yes, sir. Live from the mobile den of Brewers Cafe, 1125 Bainbridge Avenue, right here in Richmond, Virginia. Now, just because we shouting them out right now doesn't mean that right now is the only time that you need to come, because they are here every day, every single day. Our brother AJ Brewer, the proprietor. Tell us what your hours are and how often you hear how every day. What's it like?
Monday through Monday, 8 o'clock, 8 to 6 on the weekends.
You don't even know what time
7
it
to
is?
6 on the. Yeah, I know. I got 17 people giving me directions. So from 7 to 6 Monday through Friday, from 8 to 6 on the weekends. Breakfast, lunch, all day. Coffee all day.
And the
Beer
espresso
all
was
day.
great.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
That's why
The
I'm
roast
bouncing
beef
right
sandwich
now.
was wonderful.
What's the tea that I always get when I come here? I get
Peppermint ginger.
I get the peppermint ginger. I always forget. And what's the young brother that you have that's here during the day? Adam always remembers.
Yeah.
Because I come in and I give him like the blank stare when I come in. You know what I mean? Like I come in and Adam is like so dope when I come in and whatnot. And I always dap up AJ and give him some love. And then I look at Adam and I'm like, yo, what do I want? He said, yeah, I got you. This is what he says. And he gives me the face and whatnot. So anyway, I have Steppin live from the mobile den of Legacy. Yeah, I know. I see him back there. I see my brother Ty Cool. He just texted me a little while ago and whatnot. And he walked in the door. Just say peace, man. We're going to break. Just say peace.
Peace, everybody.
There you go. Have Steppin live from the mobile den of Legacy Internet Radio. We got one more comment before we go to break. Shout your name out. I know who you are, but shout your name out so the listeners can know, and then get your comment in.
Hey, y'all. This is Amber J. from Motivational Brown Girls, one half of the Motivational Brown Girls. I just want to say, I got a little hungry, and while I was listening, and I said, let me get this Brewer Club, hold the tomato, and I didn't want to holler when I ate it, but when I took a bite on that thing, I wanted to run up and down up in here because it's so good. So please come down, support this local business right here, and just each day come in and pick something and just go down the list and be like, I'm going to do it again. Yeah, I'm going to do it again next Monday. Just try it again and again and again.
I can dig it. That was dope, though, because I'll be honest with you, the first time I had that Brewers Club, I actually had to make sure he held the bacon, because I can't do bacon. But the first time I had it, I ain't going to lie, I wanted to do the happy dance up in here.
Well, my thing is, Big T, can we do lunch today and you go ahead and get me this club? We can do lunch today. Okay, Big T.
Way past lunch now.
Big T cooking. I'm telling you.
I'll work. Can you cook, Big T?
Do you cook?
My whole I have family of chefs, so we all.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the best dish? What's your favorite dish?
What's your favorite dish?
Oh man, which one though?
Something authentic to Pakistan.
All right. Well, there's one dish called halim. So basically, you boil down the meat, and honestly, I can't make it as well as my mom makes it. My mom spends all night.
It's mom,
all night.
No matter what nationality, your mama can throw down. And your nickname is Big T. Yes, your mama can throw down.
Anytime we go somewhere, someone always requests, "Can you please make halim?" And that takes hours and hours. But I swear, every time I taste it, like
what is the meat?
What is it? What's in it?
What's the meat?
There's I'm probably gonna get it wrong. My mom's gonna like school me when I get back home.
That's okay.
But from my knowledge, it's lentils, chickpeas, all boiled down meat, and it looks like gravy. Honestly, it doesn't look as pleasing, but you add in lemon, you add in different toppings, and when you taste it, man, you can be like, I wish there's a whole pool full of this and I could just start eating. I don't even know how to swim, but I would eat my way out.
As black folks say, she put her foot in it. Yes, sir. Or what's the other one? Slap your mama.
Slap your mama.
Yeah.
We will not smack Big T.
No, because we gotta respect the woman that we came from. Yeah, I'm listening.
She does something different than us.
Yes, sir.
She get real street with her.
Where's
your mama from?
I'm sorry?
Where's your mother from?
She's from Kashmir.
See, I can't even pronounce it. So yeah, she thug. She hard. So we're not gonna mess with his mom.
Question for you, actually. I've been meaning to ask this question. I have a pretty good idea about Pakistan, Kashmir. Geographic, because I'll be honest with you, I've never even heard of that country.
All right, this is me. A lot of Kashmiris, they say they're Pakistani as well.
Okay.
I pride myself over Kashmir. It's undisputed territory between Pakistan and India. There are two sides. There are two Kashmirs. One is towards Pakistan and one is towards India. And unfortunately, we don't actually see how much bloodshed goes over there.
Right.
From like the Indian government, Muslims, Christians, all being killed. Even Sikhs are being killed on the daily. We don't see that on the news.
Right.
It's basically like Palestine, but in another location.
Right.
And so where my mom is from, I've never really seen any bloodshed, and they're all patient people. They're the most hospitable people I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it's called heaven on earth. It's so gorgeous.
Oh, my body would go into shock going over there.
So Big T, you mentioned the bloodshed. Now, is this territorial bloodshed? Or is this just a war, or is this just religion? What's the basis to this war?
Well, people just want they want to own everything. So I don't know about that, but I just say let people live. You know what I mean?
I can dig it. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J live from the mobile den of Brewers Cafe, 1125 Bainbridge Avenue. Right here in the Cap City, RVA, Richmond, Virginia. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, we teased it a little bit throughout that last segment. Big T versus Big Bro Joe. That's the tease. But no, seriously. We're going to have a discussion that we've been wanting to have here on the show for quite a while. We're going to talk about guns. We're going to talk about the Second Amendment. We're going to talk about open carry. We're going to talk about concealed carry. We're going to talk about Virginia and the rest of the country and why you should carry guns, why you shouldn't carry guns, why you love guns, why you hate guns. We're going to have a discussion about it. Marcus J. and the crew rocking with you and the Brew crew. Be back in a few.